Ear. And if you like that one right there, make sure you check out my beat stream I did on Friday. I think that was my beat vlog episode 7, something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's when I made that one. I had, I like to play my previous beats that I make, like leading into a live stream. So that's why we always get those. Like to give y'all something to listen to while y'all waiting for the stream to start. But what's good, y'all? It's Sean P. the Bluff God, and today we are here to talk about One Piece, chapter 1017, and it is titled "The Order." But before I get into that, make sure you show love, like the stream, subscribe if you haven't yet, hit that bell for notifications, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BlumpGod. And that all this stuff should be, I got links in the description, so make sure y'all hit the description box. I also got a gaming channel y'all could catch me on. I'm starting to stream Thursdays and Saturdays, and I do random streams throughout the week. But those are definitely my scheduled streams. Do those on 7 p.m. Central Time, and then I also got on YouTube on this channel right here. I got my beat vlogs I do on Fridays 6 p.m. Central Time. But yeah, anyway, I'm kind of feel like I'm losing my voice a little bit. Let me clear that with some water so we could get this stream going. Woo! Yeah. Alright, so hey, y'all let me know in the chat if y'all want me to start doing like talking about the episodes. Like maybe doing a live reaction. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I could start doing live reactions on the episodes. I watch the episodes like Sundays, like today, a few hours before I watch the stream. Maybe I could I don't know how I would do it. Like y'all let me know. Would y'all like a separate stream for the episodes? Maybe do a live reaction. I mean, I would have to figure out how to get around being able to show it on the stream. If I can't, then because I don't want to get like copyright strike. Because like YouTube, sometimes they go down heavy on One Piece stuff if you reposting, like Shueisha and things. So that that might be a little tough. I might not be able to show the episode, or I might have to show it in a way where it's not the I don't know. I might have to edit the video and everything. But yeah, y'all let me know. Y'all want the episodes, because I've been watching the episodes. It's been dropping bombs. It's at the part where they're going to Onigashima, and we just seen Kandro be the traitor, and this recent episode, I'm trying to think what happened. Jinbei returned. First we got first it was when Kandro took Momonosuke and basically left for Onigashima, and we see Momonosuke man up a little bit, and that's something I'm thinking about doing in the future, a stream about Momonosuke, because I've been thinking a lot about like how well Oda has been developing this character. And I don't want to talk about it too much, because that's for another stream. We talking about the chapter, but before I go into the chapter, I want to talk about the episode a little bit. Just a little bit. But yeah, so we get like Momonosuke manning up basically, and telling everybody like, hey, don't focus on him, focus on getting Onigashima and defeating Kaido. That's our goal. Don't focus on me. And then Luffy says, "Hey, Momonosuke, I know you still a little wimp, but bro, I respect that, and I'm gonna come save you. So, try to find a way to escape or whatever, but we coming to save you. So don't worry about it." And then, we get the return of Jinbei. That was a dope moment because we get like that little dope little speech. I like the monologue that Jinbei gave when he got there, like when he was talking about who he was and will y'all accept him in the Straw Hat. So now we officially we're about to have the official reunion of all the Straw Hats, seeing them in one shot. I'm psyched about it. And this would be the first time since, I want to say, Dressrosa, since before they split up, and also Jinbei joining the crew. So that's pretty dope. I'm gonna just say that we're gonna get that shot. But yeah. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. I kind of want to talk about like the episodes though, like Wano Anime, how I feel about them, because I've been pretty psyched. I've been enjoying them. I know a lot of people out there complain about them, but I've been enjoying them. Minute. Anyway, let's start this chapter. Sorry, we like what 5 minutes into the stream and still haven't even talked about the chapter yet. It's just, man, watching these last few episodes, it's been lit, man. It's been good. Anyway, One Piece, chapter 1017, The Order. And the cover page, we get to see Buggy, and he's like playing with his little monkey. The monkey or the chimpanzee, because chimps aren't monkeys. They're all primates, but monkeys and chimps aren't. But anyway, the chimp is even though I don't think chimpanzees are supposed to have tails, so it technically is a monkey. Chimpanzees don't, I don't think, have tails. But this is One Piece, so chimps in One Piece can. But ain't solving puzzles. Anyway, So okay, we start the chapter off with Queen basically, a lot of stuff happening. Queen just kind of processing everything, basically saying, "Hey, who are you, little girl?" As Otama basically is about to deliver her speech, right? And then Otama basically passes out. He also acknowledges like, "Hey, what happened to Ba Wang? Like what's going on with it?" And this chapter did a good job at expressing the reality of the situation that the alliance, the samurai pirate mink alliance, was getting into before they went to Onigashima. And that was that they were outnumbered. That was, they went in with like 4,000 men. I want to say like 4,200 men. Kaido's people had like 20,000. So they was already pretty outnumbered. And this chapter showed that reality, because you see in the fights with who's who, right? Who's who in Jinbei. Which, this is what I liked about this chapter. We get more of the fights, the other fights that's going on besides Kaido, Luffy, besides the main ones, the bigger ones. We get to see some Jinbei and who's who action, right? And who's who is basically like, hey, who's who and his people are basically laughing and saying, "Hey, Jinbei, you don't have any complaints of what's going on. What's up? You fine with this being unfair?" And Jinbei isn't stupid. He said, "Look, our job is to occupy y'all, the officers, while Kaido is being taken down, right?" So he was like, "We already realized we was outnumbered coming here. we already realized we was outnumbered coming here. So I wasn't expecting you to fight a fair fight, right? And sorry, somebody was calling me, and that just kind of threw my whole mental where I was off. But yeah, so Jinbei basically acknowledges it, and he's saying, I realized, I knew it wasn't gonna be fair coming into this. It's a battle. It's not really supposed to be fair. And it was like, this our job preoccupying you anyway, like or occupying you anyway. And then we get to see what Frankie's doing. And Frankie's more so running as opposed to like Jinbei. But them numbers could get to Frankie easier than I would say getting to Jinbei. And then we also switched to see Jack and Inu. Like they're fighting, and of course they're outnumbering him. And and I'm glad we got to see that, because I forgot who was fighting Jack at first. Like I thought it was Denjiro fighting Jack, but it wasn't. It was Inu. And so we also get like some of the gifters talking about, oh yeah, there's some traitors, blah blah blah, down on the performance floor. We're gonna punish him. We're gonna punish him. And so we see Nami and Usopp encouraging Otama, like, hey, just be strong. Don't be scared of Queen. Cause like she passed out of fear of Queen last time. And so, Queen's like, oh, she's yelling again. And, Tom's like, hey, listen up. And this is, what a lot of people kind of already knew was going to happen. We knew from last chapter that, Tama was about to, tell all the smile fruit users that she used her ability on. She was going to tell them, hey, it's time to, get to work. It's time to change sides. And that's basically what she does. Like, fight for Luffy. Fight for big bro Luffy in Momonosuke. And so we get to see like Luffy's saved. Like Law's crew saved Luffy. They finally saved Luffy. And Momonosuke, I don't, what I wanted to see was how Momonosuke was going to be able to land on the ground. Now I'm still assuming that he saved him. Like what do y'all think? Like how did Momonosuke and Shinobu save themselves from hitting the ground? I mean, Shinobu could have used her ability, the rot ability, but I don't really know how that would have saved him from smacking the earth. So I'm thinking Momonosuke still went into his dragon form and flew and saved him. But then after the fact, he's just like, traumatized that he had to save him. But I don't know. I wish we would have seen what happened, how he got to the ground, but we didn't. So, yeah. So, Momonosuke finishes, or not Momonosuke, Otama finishes her speech saying, you got to help us beat Kaido, right? We see Speed, we see Briscola, and people are like, oh, what's going on? Like, what's going on, Briscola? What's going on? And, this is when the Beast Pirates are realizing that, some of the other Beast Pirates are, betraying them, and they don't realize what's going on. You see Jack, confused, like, hey, what's going on? And it's like they're making it a more even fight for some of these things that should be 1v1s. You know, they're helping the alliance get fairer, more fair fights. I guess that's what you would say. They're evening they're evening the odds, right? They're evening the odds since you know Otama gave that order. You know, this is her giving the order, the title of the chapter, the order, and you see, I want to say Old Maid. He was like the spider, the spider dude back in Udon who had all them legs and was shooting shooting all them plague bullets. I want to say or Old Maid. I think might have been the elephant. I forget his name, but the spider one. You know, he's also like commanding them like, hey, join in. We taking down Kaido. And Jack is basically in his elephant form. Seems to be his normal elephant form. I'm not sure if that's like if that's his hybrid form or if that's just his plain old elephant form. For now, I'm gonna just assume this is his elephant form. And even Inu is kind of Inuyasha. Is it Inuyasha or Inurashi? I don't want to get confused from that other anime, Inuyasha. I think it's Inuyasha. He's confused. He's like, hey, yeah, like what's going on, right? So basically, we're getting more of like beast pirates. More of the gifters. Fighting back. Helping Jinbei. One of them talking about, hey, Jinbei, I'll help you. So it's just alliance changing, the tide of battle changing. We see CP0, I don't know the dude's name. I don't think his name was ever given. But the agent that's currently in Wano, one of, I think it's like 2 or 3 of them there. He's confused. He seems more like the leader of that detail of CP0 agents. Like he seemed like he's probably the highest officer. I guess just based off of how he carries himself as opposed to the other ones we've seen. So I'm intrigued to know more about his standing in the in CP0, So so I want to say like Queen is basically trying to figure out what's going on, trying to contact right brain tower and left brain tower, but it's just at this point it's just chaotic. Like nobody knows what's going on in the Beast Pirates and why some of the other ones are betraying. Nobody realized that. But we go to Nami and Usopp celebrating with Otama, right? And Otama just looks like exhausted. Like that just took all her mental and emotional energy because she's like basically exhausted from it. And we see Queen charging up for like one of his beams. I assume that see now that we get more of Queen, which I'm about to talk to now, I'm starting to think what that laser thing isn't really an ability. It's more result of his cyborg body, which when we which getting into Sanji stops the beam. He stops the beam with a Collier strike. Dwee. I don't know if that's how you say it, but I'm just saying Dwee. And then Queen basically says like, God, like damn it, like Judge's son, like Judge's son again. You know, like that's how he acknowledges son Sanji, which you know it makes sense why Sanji would fight Queen. You know, seeing how they got that connection of Judge knowing Queen. You know, before I kind of thought a better matchup would be for Sanji to fight King because they're both aerial competitors. And Queen, you know, like Zoro could have fought King, you know, because Queen also uses a sword. King uses a sword as well. But I feel as though Zoro not being able to fly will kind of be a mismatch for somebody like King who has that that ability to move around the field a lot easier and faster. You know, like we seen when Zoro was fighting Pika, right? The problem that Zoro had with Pika was the fact that Pika was so big and he could move around his body. He was like swimming through this concrete body, and it was just hard for Zoro to actually connect with Pika. And so somebody like King who could fight, who could fly, I just thought Sanji would be better equipped for somebody like King. You know, but it still makes sense though, seeing how Zoro usually fights the second in command of the antagonist. But anyway, you know, then Queen says, I want to quote this. You know, I'm gonna quote from when he says, "Damn it, Judge's son." He said, "Damn it, Judge's son," or "Damn it, Judge's son again." And then Sanji said, "Don't you ever, or don't ever say that name to me. You are part of his. Are you part of his insane research team or something?" And Queen says, "You mean Mads? 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 That was ages ago. Just look at my body. I'll come straight with you. I'm a cyborg. I'm gonna talk more about this at later in the stream, so I don't want to go too much into it. You know, so I want to talk more about Mads, but that's gonna be at the end of the stream. You know, but before I get to the end, what do you guys think? Like, what's your thoughts on Mads? Before I like talk about it later, you know, what are your thoughts on Mads? And then Sanji was like, "Oh, was that supposed to be a secret?" And so now we see Queen, but now we see Queen's hybrid form, which is his man beast form. And I'm assuming that might just be what they call hybrid form, man beast, because you know most characters in One Piece are man, right? Human, man isn't human. I don't mean just their sex is man, but just they're human, right? So you know, a lot of people, you know, when people say man, sometimes they mean it in a broader sense, like all mankind, you know, like man. Ever since man created fire, you know, it could have been a woman, but you know, they just say man, and you know, I know a lot of people might say, "Oh, that's sexist," but that's just how it's always been, you know, acknowledged. But I don't even know why I got into that. But his hybrid is because Queen is a man, but then he's also a beast. So you know, instead of being beast or instead of him just being man, he's both. So this is hybrid form. He says, "So you figured it out, huh? Not that it'll help you win." You know, which I don't even know why I said, because not that he figured it out, is he told him. He told him he was a cyborg. He told him. I mean, I guess he did figure out that he was part of his. I guess he means he figured out that he was a part of his dad's research team. That's what I'm assuming. Not that he was a cyborg, because Queen's the one who told him he was a cyborg. So, Sanji basically asked Chopper, can he manage everything? Which, Chopper's helping Zoro. Chopper is helping Zoro with the Dr. Miyagi. And I forget the nurse. I forget the nurse's name. But Chopper is in his baby geezer form, which is like a side effect of his Rumble Balls. And I'll talk a little bit more about this a little later in the stream. And we see them basically trying to help Zoro, and they're basically I guess Chopper has something for Zoro, but he's like, look, if I give this to you, it's gonna have some heavy consequences later. And of course Zoro could deal with consequences. We've seen Zoro take Luffy's pain, so what's a little consequence? Of what's a little negative consequence for Zoro? We seen Zoro take on everything thrown at him. We seen him almost cut in half by Mihawk, but Mihawk like sparing him instead of just killing him. We seen Zoro take on all the pain of Luffy. We seen Zoro take on just so many injuries. Just so many ridiculous injuries. So, yeah, those consequences ain't gonna bother him. He just wants to get back in the fight. Right? He just wants to get back in the fight. But anyway, we go back to Who's Who in Jinbei, which to me this is where the chapter just, this is the meat and potatoes of the chapter as far as what made it real good, what made it great. Even though I did like the Queen and Sanji bit too, I think it's a good all around chapter. But this is the part of the chapter that I really enjoyed. We seen Who's Who. He takes his sword out, right? And despite how long of what was it called? It's not the hilt, the I'm having where you put the sword in. I'm having a brain fart right now. But as long as it is, like the actual blade of the sword is like pretty small, but like he has a move called Blade Pistol, so I'm assuming it like more so is used for like sending slashes, and like maybe the reason why it's so long, I'm gonna just call it the hilt. I know it's not the hilt, but I'm gonna call it the hilt for now. Maybe the reason why it's so long, right? You know what? Because I won't call it the right thing. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up. A sheath. I didn't even finish finding it yet. I was still typing when it hit me. The sheath of the sword. Like the sheath is like super long. Like I was just about to start typing. It's thundering outside. But yeah, so I was just about to start typing and it was like sheath. So the sheath is super long, like his sheath, but the actual blade is very small. And I don't know, I don't get why he would have such a long sheath for such a small like dagger almost. Unless the sheath is like storing the energy of the blade of his blade pistol, you know, because it looks like it's a projectile, you know. It looks like it's a projectile type, like it shoots little projectile blade pistol. So he does that, and Jinbei basically stops all that with a fishman karate. Aribisque brick fist, and then we see who's who with a shave, and then he does a tempest kick, right? And so it's like he's starting to do like moves that we're familiar with, like a lot of that style that CP9 uses. I mean, they're not the only ones that use it. The military uses it because I think we've seen Virgo use it. Like the finger pistols. So and then, you know, Jinbei said, "Should I call this Iron Body?" Right? Because I think Jinbei hits him, and he just, you know, he takes it. So, you know, like those are the six. You know, Jinbei points it out saying those are the six powers. The fighting abilities of government agents, which reminds me, right? And I'm glad that Oda brought this back, because my thing was I wish Oda would keep the whole, like the fighting style that was introduced from CP9, like keep that relevant, you know, keep that relevant to the story. I'm glad he's like bringing it up with a new character, like a new character that still uses it, you know. And it makes sense because I like the style. I like the whole, you know, how you turn paper. Even though Sanji uses it, because he uses the skywalk, which is one of the abilities that style gives. You know, that you. It's one of the abilities that, you know, you learn through that style. So he brought that out, and he was like, you know, Jinbei says, you know, I heard about a member of the secret government agency, CP9, who escaped from jail. Seems strange that a secret agent will be in prison. However, you know, and then, you know, who said, I can't believe you remember that. Yes, that was me. I knew you, but you don't know me. I knew you, but you don't know me. So now we figure out that who's who is a CP9 that was a CP9 agent, right? But you know, he talks about like he made a single little mistake 12 years ago, right? And thinking about it, 12 years ago was about right for Luffy getting his ability, right? Like, Luffy is what, like 18, 19, 20, one of them? Maybe like 18. So 12 years ago, Luffy would have been 6. If he's 18. But if he's 20, 12 years ago, he'd be 8. I think Luffy is around 20. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the chat. How old is Luffy? How old is Luffy? And I want to say he met Shanks around 10 or so. So yeah, but let's go in. Let's go in before we get into that. So he says he's like who said they used to say I had just as much potential as the genius Rob Lucci, which is dope, because seeing him in his form, in his like hybrid form, or not his hybrid, I want to say like his maybe I would say that's his hybrid, but seeing him in his form, he reminds me a lot of Rob Lucci. You know, and then he says, "Yeah, I used to have just as much potential as Rob Lucci." You know, and he does a fang pistol. Jimbe dodges that. We see how it just basically eats through. Look like a pillar almost. And Jimbe says, "Yes, I've never seen those 6 powers before. I pity you, but I had nothing to do with your fate." And then he was like, "That's where you're wrong. Who's that's where you're wrong." He said, "You're the helmsman of the Straw Hat Crew," very proudly. The mention of that name brings me back to the past. So I'm assuming this is the 12 years he's talking about. The mistake that he made. But he was like 12 years ago, Devil Fruit. Yeah, 12 years ago, Devil Fruit was stolen from a government ship. And when Straw Hat Luffy appeared 2 years ago, I was shocked to learn the truth. That Straw Hat had eaten the very gum fruit that was stolen from my ship. And then we do have a chapter next week. Okay. Alright, so let's talk about the chapter. That was the chapter. Let's talk about it though. Alright. There's a few things I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about the changing of the tide of the battle. Changing is how the tide changed, because going into Onigashima, people, like, everybody knew that the Alliance was severely outnumbered and outgunned. Not only did the Alliance, were they outnumbered just by pure numbers, they also were outgunned because you have two Yonko that allied with each other, Kaido and Big Mom, and then you have some very strong commanders in King and Queen, or strong fighters in King and Queen, because I don't know where they would stack up against other commanders. So far I can't say they've been the most impressive, because Marco was Solo and King and Queen, the two strongest commanders. But I also don't want to just use him being able to stall them as a barometer to say, oh yeah, they're weaker than Marco, or they're weak, because he wasn't beating them up. He was just more so like just restricting them. But in a sense, he was also restricted in restricting them, like in subduing them. He was subdued as well, because all he can do is just keep them from running them up on the battlefield. So so we see how the Alliance went into this battle, basically, outnumbered, outgunned, outmanned, outgunned, whatever. And we see after Luffy was defeated and Momonosuke fell off the thing, or before Momonosuke fell off the thing, and Momonosuke gave his speech, that kind of empowered, it kind of strengthened the Alliance, right? It kind of like, because their morale was kind of waning. They're like, well, if Luffy got defeated, why are we still fighting? So their morale was waning. But Momo gave his speech. Told him, okay, Luffy will be back. Don't fret. It's not over. Keep fighting. Told the samurai, keep fighting. And bam. So the morale of the Alliance was somewhat fortified, right? Their resolve was somewhat fortified to keep fighting, but they were still outnumbered. That's still a problem. So that's when Otama comes in. She gives her order to the gifters who ate her devil her millets, right? Or dumplings, ate her dumplings. She tells them like, "Hey, change sides. It's the order." So now that the alliance is more, their resolve and morale is strengthened, and now you got some of the beast pirates turning on the like Kaido's. They're turning on Kaido. That sort of maybe brings more of a balance. I don't want to say it turns the tide fully, but I want to say it brings a balance because now the alliance is not so outnumbered, but they're still kind of outgunned because we're still dealing with Kaido, Big Mom, some commanders, the Toby Roppo. But yeah, so I think Otama help give balance to the battlefield with her ability, and this was something that a lot of people predicted. I think most people predicted that Otama's ability was going to come in handy somehow by affecting by gaining support from the Beast Pirates. By making them betray Kaido. It was predicted, and it came official. It's a prediction. It's a very common prediction that is now basically happened. All right, so let's talk about Queen and Judge's history with Mads, right? So we get the little scuffle between Queen and Sanji, and Queen addresses Sanji as Judge's kid, and Queen also tells Sanji like, "Oh, I'm a cyborg." So it kind of makes sense. Like ever since we kind of start learning, like it was foreshadowed since the beginning of Wano when they introduced King and Queen, and we see Queen tinkering with little gadgets, and he had like an arm that was like a prosthetic arm, that was mechanical. So we learned that he's a cyborg, and he was part of the research team that Judge was on, and if I remember correctly, Vegapunk was also on. It was like this. They talked about it in Whole Cake Island when we discovered that Judge worked with Vegapunk on like this rogue team of scientists, and this was before the world government basically picked up Vegapunk, right? And Vegapunk became a scientist of the world government. So, I'm really intrigued to learn more about Mads, about this group of scientists, and seeing how Queen worked in it, and seeing how Vegapunk worked in it. Maybe we'll get more about it if Vegapunk is indeed in Wano. That's a theory that's been very common since Orochi demanded CP0 to bring Vegapunk if they want to keep doing business, if they want more weapons, if they want the weapons that Wano produced, and Orochi wanted Vegapunk, and we see CP0 left, they came back. Maybe Vegapunk is with them, and with Vegapunk there, Sanji there, maybe, and Queen there, maybe we'll get more information about this team of rogue scientists. And not only that, maybe we'll, get more information about Devil Fruit. Alright, and so I'm gonna talk about Baby Chopper. I want to say it was called what did they call him? Baby Geezer. Baby Geezer. And so we get that, like, we learn more about I want to say last chapter we learn, or the last two chapters we learn more about Chopper working with Caesar. And Caesar is some, like, I'm curious to know, was Caesar also a part of this rogue group of scientists? Like he could have been. You know, we know he worked for Vegapunk in the world government, but maybe he was also a part of this rogue group of scientists. You know, I would like to know more about that. You know, so because now we're bringing up Judge, we're bringing up Mads, who, you know, Queen or Judge and Queen worked with, and Vegapunk. I assume. I want to assume. So, you know, could we get uh Germa? You know, Germa Wano. You know, could we get a reunion of Mads? Maybe a small reunion. Maybe so far I see the most realistic possibility of getting a reunion of Mads, at least in Wano, would be Vegapunk being in Wano right now, and, you know, the Fat Queen's there. You know, so yeah, I'm intrigued to learn more about this group Mads. I'm really intrigued. Okay, but with Chopper, you know, we know that he worked with Caesar, and, you know, Caesar was brought up a couple chapters ago, so I'm curious if he has any connection with Mads as well. But anyway, we see the side effects of what his new Rumble Balls cause, and, like, it kind of reminds me of when Luffy learned Gear 3. Did, did it affect him in Gear 2? I know it affected him in Gear 3 because he turned to a kid. Like, he turned into like a baby Luffy. So yeah, it was Gear 3. And he, like, becomes useless, like a little and useless. So it kind of reminds me of when Luffy was using Gear 3, and he like back in his lobby, you know. And so I'm curious how Chopper is going to overcome this side effect. You know, will he? You know, I think he might. Knowing Chopper, I feel as though, like, maybe if he meets Vegapunk, right? Like, let's say he meets Vegapunk, and maybe Vegapunk might be the one to help him perfect his Rumble Balls. Like, Caesar helped him elevate it, because Caesar knows more than Chopper. Like, he's a better scientist. Caesar's a scientist. Chopper's a doctor who is good with science as well. But maybe Caesar helped him elevate it, but Vegapunk might help Chopper perfect it. And just imagine if Vegapunk is indeed Wano, how much how much of a power up would that be for Chopper? You know, and I don't mean just a power up fighting wise. That too. If Chopper could, if Vegapunk somehow maybe helps Chopper perfect his Rumble Ball and make it, like, the duration of it much longer, and no side effects, you know, or make it to where he could do it for, like, like, no limit. You know, I don't know. You know, what's the limits? What would be the limits of what Vegapunk could teach Chopper? You know, like, what's the potential? Not, I don't want to say limits. What's the potential of the amount of stuff that Vegapunk could teach Chopper that can help him as far as making his Rumble Balls more effective and efficient, to make his doctor skills better? You know, like, yeah, you know, I could see Vegapunk doing a lot for Chopper, you know, and I could see Vegapunk helping him trim this side effect of becoming baby geezer Chopper. But yeah, so So now I want to get more to the stuff that happened in the end of the chapter with Who's Who and Jinbe, right? Like we learned that Who's Who was part of CP9, and like we seen him talk about Lucci. He brought up Lucci, but um, like I want to know more about his history with CP9, right? Like and in his history with Lucci, like were they rivals? Because I could see them. Because to me, they're in some ways they're a lot alike. You know, well, I don't want to say they're a lot alike because maybe they're a lot alike more so because of their devil fruit. You know, they have feline. They're both CP9, right? You know, they both have feline zone devil fruits that are very similar. You know, like his his hybrid form or his form that he showed that we seen looks damn near identical to Lucci's, you know. And then you know he's very like his martial arts like I forget what that martial arts that they use in CP9. It's like Ryo's like somebody let me know the style in the chat or the comments. But he uses it, and you know, be it this was 2 years ago when we seen Lucci use it, so you know, I would say Who's Who could be he could be there with Lucci, you know. He could be as strong as Lucci. They could have been rivals. You know, he did say it like, you know, he said, you know, I was people compared me to Lucci. He basically said people compared him to Lucci and said he was up there with the genius Lucci. So I want to know more about their relationship. Was it like a rivalry? You know, were they like brothers? Were they rivals? Because I could see them being rivals, and I would like to see them interact again. Like I hope we see. I hope somehow. I don't know how. I don't know how, Oda. I do not know how, Oda, and I do not care. Just make it happen. I want to see Who's Who versus Rob Lucci. Make it happen. Make it happen, Captain. I could see his devil fruit being superior to Rob Lucci though, but I could see possibly like Rob Lucci possibly being better at the martial arts than Who's Who. You know, like that's kind of like I could see because I feel as though how he said what he said when he said like you know let me see when he said it. I want to get exactly what he said. Iron Bias. I was who escaped from jail seems strange. Trying to see where he said that about Rob Lucci. Damn, I cannot find it. I'm like reading all the Blade Pistol. He said, "Should I call this Iron Body or the six powers the government agents use?" I heard about a member of secret government who escaped from jail. Seems strange. I can't believe you remember that. Yes, that was me. I happen to like what I am now, but I went through hell all because you know they used to. He said, "Okay, they used to say I had just as much potential as the genius Rob Lucci." He kind of spoke at it as like Rob Lucci was still superior. You know what I'm saying? He said like they used to say I had just as much potential as like he was probably like if Rob Lucci was like the top of the class, like let's say 1A, right? Maybe Who's Who would be like 1B, you know? Like Goku and Vegeta. Goku would be 1A, Vegeta be 1B. You know, Sanji would probably be 1A, or no, Zoro would be 1A, Sanji would be 1B. You know? So I'm thinking like Lucci might have been better than Who's Who, but I could also see something being like it being something like Who's Who has a better devil fruit, like a superior devil fruit. Like he has the saber tooth tiger, whereas Lucci has a leopard. You know, I can see that being the case possibly. Yeah. So all right. So now that and what about Who's Who connection to the Gum Gum fruit, right? So we know he said he made that one single mistake, and I guess it ruined his career. And it was when the Gum Gum fruit was stolen from the ship like 12 years ago, the ship that he was, I guess, watching, you know. And so, you know, he has this vendetta against Luffy, right? Because of that, you know. And I'm curious. I'm really, really curious. We know earlier in this arc, Who's Who was saying, like, there's somebody I wanted to kill. Now, for a while, I think theories were that it was Queen or King or Jack. He wanted to kill one of the commanders. And then the whole thing happened with X Drake and Who's Who, Queen and Hawkins was about to basically, they all confronted X Drake about him being a traitor or a spy, and it looked like he was about to attack him. And some people said, like that's when I think most people believe, okay, Who's Who, when he said that, he was talking about X Drake. He wasn't talking about the commanders. He was talking about X Drake. But now I'm starting to think, was he really talking about Luffy? Because he seems like he has a vendetta against Monkey D. Luffy for having the Gum Gum fruit. Because that's part of the reason why he's saying, look, you are connected to this. Because your captain has the Gum Gum fruit. So yes, you do have something to do with this. So I'm thinking he has a vendetta against Luffy for having the Gum Gum fruit, and which was what was responsible for him possibly losing his job. Even though he did say he likes where he's at in life right now. When the Gum Gum fruit was stolen, it still did ruin his career with CP9, right? So, but you think about it. Luffy wasn't the one who took that Gum Gum fruit. Shanks had it. So was Shanks the one that stole was Shanks the one who stole the Gum Gum fruit from that ship that Who's Who was on? And shouldn't Who's Who have a vendetta with Shanks? Unless he don't know that Shanks took it. Maybe Shanks and his crew did some stealth stuff. And he assumed whoever took it, was connected with Luffy. Which, that would be true. But yeah, so what did Shanks get the Gum Gum fruit from somebody else who raided that ship, or was Shanks and his crew the one who raided the ship for that Gum Gum devil fruit? I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see where Oda is going with this. I think Shanks was indeed the one who stole the Gum Gum devil fruit from that ship. I believe his crew was. I don't know why. What motive would Shanks have to go basically raid a naval ship? Did he know that the gum fruit was there, or was he just raiding it for something else? Because I don't know if I would see Shanks as the type of pirate who really raids. Kind of like how Luffy doesn't really raid ships. He'll raid the treasure of an enemy, but he just doesn't go raiding ships. So, the Chinks attack that ship, did he have the intel? Like, they have a devil fruit, and they have the gum devil fruit. Maybe Shanks had plans with that devil fruit, with that gum devil fruit, and that's why he raided it. Because I don't know if I see Shanks as this guy who just raids ships. I don't know if I see that, but yeah, you guys let me know what you think. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think is going on with Queen and Judge's history with Mads and throwing Vegapunk in there? Because I'm pretty sure he was part of that little crew too. And what do you think? Those side effects will ever be addressed? Like the baby chopper side effects, the baby geezer. What about who's who's relationship with CP9 and specifically Lucci? And then what about who's connection with the devil fruit, with the gum devil fruit, and potentially Shanks? Let me know what y'all think about the chapter. Those questions. What in this chapter stuck out most to you? What stuck out most to you? Anyway, that's pretty much the stream. Remember, again, make sure you leave a like for the stream. Subscribe if you ain't already subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you know when I go live. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Blumpfgod, and check out my Facebook gaming channel. You can search Blumpfgod Gaming, or the link will be in the description below. Follow me on there where I stream gaming. I might stream tonight. I might play some Apex or something tonight. And also join the One Piece Discord. If you like talking about One Piece, join my One Piece Discord. The link to that will be in the description as well. Anyway, pretty much done with this. Let me know your thoughts. What did you think of the chapter? Thumbs up, thumbs down, maybe a mid. I personally don't like rating the chapters because sometimes I feel as though some chapters aren't, a 5. They might be a 3, but just a sheer, little information you get, they may hold a lot of importance, and I don't like rating something a 3 because it wasn't the most exciting chapter when you might get some important information that's key to the overall story. So me personally, I don't like to rate, but I'm gonna definitely tell you if I give thumbs up, this is like a man, wasn't great, wasn't bad, and this is just if it was a bad chapter. But I don't know if I want to even do that. But anyway, let me know what you think about chapter. I liked it. I'm gonna just say that I liked the chapter. Y'all take it easy. We'll be back at this again next Sunday, same time, 4 p.m. Central. You make sure you be there and join the conversation. Anyway, I'm out.